One thing that's really important and really helpful in RobotC are the sample programs. So you're doing um, a new challenge you don't know how to do. Either it's a new sensor or a new kind of loop or condition or who knows what. Um, and so, how can you get an idea of what the syntax should be like and how you should write things down, what the commands look like? Because one small mistake can, completely mess up your program. So, the sample programs are really, really helpful. So right now, look, we have our compiler target and we're going to virtual worlds. Fine. Well, and I want to find out about how the color sensor works. I'm going to go File, Open Sample Programs. And you can see up here in the window, it's going sample programs, and it's automatically giving me virtual world kinds of programs. And then for the EV3, because we've already selected that as our type of unit. So let's go down here, and we don't really see anything that says color sensor. We don't even see anything that looks like it might be a color sensor. I'll try curriculum examples. And there, look, color sensor reflected values. And I open that up, and this doesn't give us a lot, but it does give us this, that if one way to find out what the color sensor is doing is to use this get color reflected command. And then we're going to refer to the name of the sensor that we want, which is color sensor. And hopefully you remember that that color sensor name has to be the same as what we created in our motor and sensor setup. And you can see right there, color sensor had to be named that. Those names have to be the same. What you're calling for here has to be the same as what you set up in motor and sensor setup here. Okay, but that might not get you to what you totally need. So I want to say one more thing about the sample programs. If I go to File, Open Sample Programs, notice this was automatically taking us to virtual worlds. But there are more sample programs. Oh, let's just do one more thing. There might be more stuff about the color sensor in some of these other ones. For example, Ruins of Atlantis is a sort of a game-like virtual world. Maybe there's something in there. Maybe there's something in program flow. What do we even look in there? Nah, I don't see anything. But let's go back. You can look through these things because you're not going to know for sure that there's not anything there unless you look inside the folder. But let's suppose you don't find what you want in any of the virtual worlds sample programs. So let's just go to sample programs in general. Now you can see there was a virtual world folder, but there is also an EV3 folder, which is targeted towards using a physical robot, but the code is going to work the same. So I'm opening this up, and we can see right here there is a specific folder that talks about the color sensor. It's going to give you some sample programs on the color sensor. You might look in miscellaneous. You might look in some other things, but let's look in color sensor first. And if we look through these, some of these are going to be worthwhile later on, but I'm not even going to open them up because I can tell you these color detection and color reflective are going to be a little bit advanced compared to where we're at right now, at least in my class. Line follower's a little bit more understandable. And so we can look in here and see the syntax is a little bit different. It's saying if sensor value color is highest, so this sensor value is what's being used here, and then it's referring to color. You can try this and see if this also works. But the main thing is that these sample programs are there. B, even if you're in virtual worlds, you can just go to sample programs, and there's more programs available that you can take a look at. And finally, if I do open one of these sample programs, do not make changes and then compile the program. That is going to change that sample program. Whenever RobotC made this program, it worked. If you make changes and then compile, that automatically saves and changes the original program, and it won't be there anymore. And so if you messed it up, not going to work, and probably won't be able to figure out what it was like before. So when we make changes, we're going to say File, Save As, and then I wouldn't save it into the sample programs folder. Create your own folder in Documents, or go to your desktop and create a folder in your desktop, but do not save into the sample programs. Save your programs into another location, so that if you make a change and that change doesn't work, you'll still be able to have that original program.